Alright, so today I'm learning more box art. What's going on, everybody? It's Alan Thomas, aka Shadow Assassins, and today I have a new painting. This time it's a painting of Trunks and Goten, and they are in a parody of the box art cover for River City Ransom. Now, for people who didn't play video games before, like I guess 1993, who probably don't know what River City Ransom is, it was an old, I guess you would call it a beat 'em up game for the original Nintendo. And I think there were like remixed versions of it on like the Super Nintendo. I believe there was one on the Super Nintendo. There's of course Game Boy versions, and there's a Game Boy Advance one that I had when I was like a teenager. But really, you're trying to rescue, I think, the main character's girlfriend, like a lot of these video games, and you're just walking around the streets of River City, I guess, and you're beating people up. That's pretty much the entire game, and occasionally you eat like noodles and soup and whatnot for, I guess, health. That's it. If you want a comparison for the game, look at Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But in any event, not getting into that, that's not what this is for. This video is about my actual painting. My thought process behind using Trunks and Goten, I wanted to do another box art similar to the WWE version of Super Street Fighter 2, or Street Fighter 2 I should say, and Streets of Rage painting that I did with the characters from Sonic the Hedgehog. I wanted to redo that one as well, so this time I chose to use Trunks and Goten just because I wanted to use Dragon Ball Z characters. Why, I have no idea. Well, I wanted to use Dragon Ball characters, but I wasn't really sure who I was going to use. I almost used Trunks and Gohan, future Trunks and Gohan that is, and at the last minute I thought it would look more ridiculous because I always planned to put West City in the background, just to use West City Ransom instead of River City. But for whatever reason, I decided at the last minute to do Trunks and Goten just because I thought it would be more ridiculous if it was little kids. Just the premise of little kids just running around beating people up in the streets is, I don't know why that's funny to me. I don't know what that says about my own head, but whatever. We'll just roll with it for right now. As far as the actual picture, I just sort of tried to remix the actual cover as best I could while still making it look Dragon Ball-esque. That's why Goten's kind of flying in this picture. But I did want them in the original white tees and jeans like the characters in the original game. As far as the actual cover, I thought about sticking other characters in the background, but in the middle of doing it, I just thought to hell with it because I didn't really know what I was going to do anyway. I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted West City to even look like, to be quite honest. I looked at a couple of reference photos and stuff, but I didn't have a concrete idea of how I was about to make this painting look, or at least the background of it, because I didn't really know what West City looked like. I think the only visual image I can think of in West City from Dragon Ball is Capsule Corp. Oh, now that I say that out loud, it's like I could have just incorporated that to the picture, but whatever, it's done now. But I just put one of those weird Dragon Ball bridges in the background, and just a bunch of those, I guess, futuristic buildings. And that was pretty much it as far as the background was concerned. It was very simple, considering that I'm replicating a Toriyama background in a sense. There wasn't a lot of craziness that I really had to add as far as that was concerned. Though the cars were a bit of a chore because I think I added too much of them, which is why I eventually added the motion blur to some of them just so it didn't look as jarring in the picture, which I think you won't see watching this until towards the end of the painting. But in any event, I sort of laid this out of order too. I think I drew the characters first and then painted parts of the background like behind them after I did it. It's not a normal fashion that I do things, but I did it this way, I think, so I could see how the characters sort of blended in with the rest of the picture. I think the actual shading and lighting of the characters was one of the final things I did in this picture, which normally is not in that order. It's kind of in the reverse when I do these things. So like I said, I was trying to get a glimpse of how it was going to look with the shading and I guess with the background itself, but I didn't mean to go as far as I did with the background details and whatnot. As far as actually drawing Trunks and Goten, however, as simple as it was to draw the two of them, the shading I kind of had a bit of issue with. Number one, sort of shading Goten's hair, which is already black, and then with his hair in the air, it's like Goku's hair I pretty much have a handle on, and Goten, in a sense, has the exact same hairstyle. But I don't know why wrapping my head around shading Goten's hair like flying in the air was such an issue for me. Like, I don't even know why that is. Or not even shading it, because I didn't shade it. His hair is already black, so there's no need to do that, putting the highlights on it. And I had a similar issue with Trunks as far as putting the highlights on his, because I didn't want to put too much white into his hair. Although Trunks' hair color is like this weird grayish purple. Like, I don't know. But whatever. It was one of the few reasons why I almost drew future Trunks, just to give him blue hair. But whatever. The Dragon Balls that I added in here was just a last minute thing. I don't know. I'm not even sure why I stuck them in there. Of course, it's a Dragon Ball parody in a sense, or at least Dragon Ball River City Ransom parody. So you sort of get that when you look at it. I don't know what really made me want to put the Dragon Balls in the picture at the end. I think it just caught my attention when I was doing the font from the River City Ransom box art, which of course has a bunch of different sort of cutout letters in it, almost to look like a ransom note, obviously. Boy, I'm a genius, right? So I sort of spent the latter part of this picture actually taking the different text for the word ransom and just putting it together to make it look like an actual ransom note. But I still used the Dragon Ball font for the West City portion of the text at the top. So it's sort of a Dragon Ball Z element there while still having the original homage to River City Ransom. So this was a pretty simplistic picture. It wasn't in as great detail as the last painting that I did, which was that crazy Jinsei painting. Though I absolutely love that one. I love this one as well. It was just a much simpler picture to do as opposed to the last one. And it was fun to draw something goofy. And this is a goofy painting. Like I said, the implication of this being that there's two little boys that's getting ready to just beat the hell out of people in the streets of West City. So on that note, I think I'm done here. That's pretty much all it was to my thought process in this picture. And I'm going to put this on my website sometime soon, within the next couple days. So you all can check it out there too. And also check out my other paintings and my, I guess, art prints if you wanted to buy any of my work. And look at some of my other links that's on my website as well. I have a little clothing store and accessory store for my webcomics. And I also have my webcomic links for Afro Brainbuster and Shadow Assassins if you wanted to check it out. And all the other goodies that are in my description box if you wanted to check out the links. Or just go to shadowassassins.com. But in any event, I'm about to get to work. I have a lot of it to get done. And I hope you all have a good one. I'm out.